Welcome to Phoenix.
And Project Mercury.
Hooah!
Welcome to Data Center Pulse and another episode of the eBay Modular Data Center RFP. Today I have three guests with me. The first is Mike Lewis. He's the Director of Mission Critical Engineering for eBay, and he is going to be running the project itself. I also have Gary Cudmore,
Principal with EDI.
Principal with EDI.
Thank you.
And I have Rob.
Rob Nash-Boulden. I'm the Vice President and Director of Operations for EDI.
For EDI. So I wonder why we have EDI here. We've, as you can probably guess, picked the winner of the RFP. And it is EDI, AHA Consulting Engineers, and Winterstreet as the team that's come in. So first off, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Right? My condolences for your time. It's going to be completely consumed in the next 8 months. We want to talk to you a little bit about the project, but I think that I want to give a little reminder about what the project was. Okay,
Right,
so why don't you
if you
start?
remember first, the last installment we had chosen 6 finalists to come to present their designs to us in San Jose. As a result of those presentations, the designs that they did, we went through the process and chose EDI to be the finalists and design our data center.
And really the pillars of this were about modularity, right? Free cooling, density, and multi-tier, and of course extreme PUE.
Right, and having the flexibility to be able to handle a traditional air-cooled type of server, a water-cooled server, etc. So that we really wanted to future-proof the designs, since we don't necessarily know what's going to show up in the future for our servers.
Absolutely. So why don't you talk about the selection process? So why did EDI win this bid?
Sure. Everybody, especially the 6 finalists, all had really great designs. It was a very, very difficult decision. It was very difficult as we went through the designs. We tried to make the process as agnostic as possible, and that we really looked at everybody's designs on their own merit. People didn't have a chance to come back in and tweak things and change things. It was we wanted everybody to put their best foot forward when they did the design. Some of the things that really helped EDI get the business was, one, they really answered all of the questions in our RFP.
They were very
thorough,
yeah.
Exactly, in those answers and responses. And then the simplicity of the design really helped the case as well, because there were some we were asking for them to solve a fairly complex set of problems, the flexibility, the multi-tier, water-cooled, air-cooled, etc. But one thing that really kind of pushed them over the top was the simplicity of the design, but still being able to answer all those questions.
Right. We did want to now get your perspective. So you've been on the outside, watching, submitting, wondering. So tell me about the RFP process itself.
Sure.
What was interesting about that?
Well, it really started with Rob being on LinkedIn and seeing this Data Center Pulse video, and then this RFP was coming out and this challenge to the community, and he called me up and he goes, hey, let's see what eBay's doing. Let's see if we can get this RFP in our hand and at least understand what they're trying to do. We knew you'd be pushing the boundaries and there'd be a big challenge thrown down. So we sent our qualification package and answered a couple of baseline questions that you had for us. And lo and behold, we got invited to participate and got the RFP. And once we read through the RFP, we really started to see what you guys were challenging the design community with, which got us excited because we realized that we could actually solve this problem. We can solve this Rubik's Cube. And
So what was it that was exciting? What were the challenges? I mean,
well, when you
is it
make a
normal?
statement that you want to have free cooling year-round in Phoenix, that's an attention getter. That, you know, I started to talk to people within my organization about it, and I first got, well, no, you can't do that. I'm like, okay, put your hand down, step to the side. We're going to talk through this a little bit more. Don't say you can't. Let's just start to analyze this and break it down to some simple components, and maybe we can get there. And so that was the first thing that was really exciting for me, was this free cooling year-round. And then just some of the other things, when you start to stack all the requirements of the scalability, availability, capacity, tiering, at a cabinet or a pod or in any configuration within that white space, and then the things you're going to do on the roof too on the container side was also exciting, because I think containers are starting to get some recognition that there are applications for containers in people's IT strategies. So when you lump that all together, I just said, Rob, let's go for it. And we did.
Yeah, we sure did. Well, we went out and really said if we could solve all of these problems, this was a really unique opportunity and a great chance for us to showcase our talents by attacking a variety of challenges concurrently, and we embraced that opportunity. So that's why it's exciting.
So you pulled these other two companies together, right?
Yes.
And you're leading this. I mean, so why did you pick those companies?
Well, we talked about the design and really design first.
Okay.
So when we went forward, we knew we had to have something that was simple, reliable, scalar, modular. Yes.
Scalar, modular, modular? I like that.
Modular and
That's a new name.
scalable. And
It's a hybrid.
Yeah.
we really did come out with some terrific ideas right out of the box. We
Sure.
put some things down on paper, we began drawing lines, and we said, we absolutely can respond to this RFP. In fact, we think that our solutions may be embraced by eBay. They're different, they're unique, and they address all of the challenges, which it was a variety of challenges. So the team was assembled with that in mind, really,
Okay.
is how do you tackle that variety of challenges, from modeling through to very unique and innovative electrical and mechanical designs.
And today, we kicked off the actual process today here in Phoenix. And I shared with them a lot of the other side that you hadn't seen before. So it's, what are the business drivers and what are the challenges from an IT perspective that we have to solve? And where we start to marry these two things. When do you really have an optimized data center? When you've got the workload inside of it that's optimized for it, right? And the data center is optimized for the workload. And when we're going to extreme density, and we're going to modularity that's going to be able to scale at the scale of our business, right? So, I mean, what was your concept today? I mean, when you heard those things, did anything change?
Certainly there was an educational component for me, because I got to really understand, first off, what you guys are trying to do and really understand your business and how it operates and the challenges that you guys have serving your users. I mean, we're talking 77 million people.
90 million for eBay, 77 million for PayPal.
That's a lot of people that are accessing me. That's real-time processing transactions. There's a lot going on there.
24 times forever.
Right, 24 times forever. And this is the first time, and I've been in this industry for 26 years, and this is the first time I've ever gotten to that level of understanding of the IT strategy and how you operate and what you're going to do with servers and how they're put together and how you're going to deploy them in the future. And when you take that component, add it to what we understand about infrastructure and that design, you really are going to solve that problem for a long time when you get that marriage of those two things together. And I think that's something that does not happen very often and really should be happening all the time in this process.
And we get to these concepts like hot water cooling, right?
That's a term that we coined during our design. And when you say those words together, it sounds crazy. Hot water cooling, just like year-round cooling in Phoenix, free cooling in Phoenix. So as we looked at supply temperature and okay, now we're going to follow what the RFP says. This is going to drive server manufacturers to be innovative and creative, and it's all for the search of saving energy and all those types of things. So yeah, we termed the term hot water cooling.
Well, and this is all part of the process. I mean, we really wanted to drive the industry to come up with new things, and that, as a result of this process, is why we're talking with you guys today.
And it's going to drive us to innovation too. I mean, we are definitely got the blinders off, and we are going to look at a lot of different concepts and how they relate to not only schedule and first cost, but solving all these layers of operational challenge that you've given us in that data center.
And we're going to be sharing information as we go forward, but I think we should talk about schedule, Mike.
Yeah, the schedule is very aggressive, to say the least. When we originally sent the RFP out in July, We were targeting for a summer launch next year to have the building fully constructed and commissioned by summertime next year. It took us a little longer than we originally thought to award the business and start the design process. However, the end date really hasn't slipped. We have to be live by summer next year. So it's an aggressive schedule, and we're putting a lot of weight on these guys' backs to perform and to meet that.
But we have confidence you're going to be able to do that.
Well, you know, through the RFP and design process, we did a lot of modeling, a lot of BIM and Revit and stuff like that. So we have a great baseline to start the process. Although we've lost some time, we're not really behind the 8 balls as much as it might seem when you say that out loud, because we have put a lot of research into this already.
Sure.
So we have a lot of baseline data that we're coming into the meeting with to start. And then with the collaboration of what you guys have already developed and that you know what you're trying to do. I mean, you guys have a very clear direction on where you're going. So we know what our mission is. And if you can't get to the other end of the street if you don't know your route, how you're going to get there. And you guys are making that easy for us. So, and that's really key to understanding this design development and make sure we solve your problem in the end.
So we're a difficult client, but not from, we're a difficult client from the actual requirements. Right, what we're doing in this data center really is taking the culmination of all the different best practices and challenges out there and pushing them. Right?
Yes.
How are we going to land in this? I can't wait to do something next summer in this data center. I've said this now for a year. We want to see what we can do at the peak of the temperature in Phoenix. We can get free cooling at that time.
You will have free cooling.
Great. Okay, so one more thing I did want to talk about is in this process we had 6 finalists. And of course all of them worked really hard and the designs were great. I really, really like that. That's why it took us a long time to really figure out what we're going to go for. But one of the things that popped out was one of the finalists was Skanska. And they came back with a very innovative product. So where we picked the design firm, right, the engineering firm, and all that to come back with what the design should be, we looked at this one and said, this is really bleeding edge. This is something that people have not done before. This product itself. So Skanska is going to be participating from that standpoint as well. We're going to take that product and see how that integrates into this design. Because ultimately, this solution, and we'll talk about it more in a future episode, really does get to extreme density. It really gets to extreme efficiency. And when you've got cabinets going 20, 30, 40 kilowatts, because now we really understand how IT and facilities work together to get that ultimate efficiency, you've got to have solutions that can handle that. And there aren't that many solutions out there that can do that. You can't just open the window and take enough air in to cool a 40 kilowatt cabinet.
No, you can't. That's something that takes a lot of research and very precise engineering. You don't fake 40 watts a cabinet. You just don't do it.
40 watts or 40
kilowatts?
Right. I think we've done 40 watts a cabinet before.
That's with the window open.
So, in summary, EDI has won the bid, along with AHA engineers, or AHA consulting engineers and Winterstreet architects. Also, we're going to be looking at the technology from Skanska, as far as, I won't say the name of it, we'll talk about it later. This really, to me, is the epitome of what the RFP should have been. Put it out there for folks, and what did we find? A firm we would have never even known about that ended up winning the bid. Second one is new technology that we would not have known about unless we put out a challenge like this. And those are the things we want to push the industry to really come back with solutions that are going to solve problems like we have in our company. Well, thank you guys. We look forward to you coming back with a great design that we're going to be deploy and share with the industry in about 8 months. And thank you very much for watching another episode of Data Center Pulse, and stay tuned for additional updates on Project Mercury.
Hooah!